Section 4. Container Platform CI/CD. Deploying Source Control. In Section 4, you'll learn how to build Container Platform CI/CD source control and how to access the source control service to utilize its core functions. Part 1. Source Control Installation. In Section 4, we'll understand the concept of source control and other necessary component of implementing CI/CD, and how to build it in K-PaaS. Source control falls under the broad umbrella of configuration management, which is the act or process of documenting the functional or physical characteristics of elements of a system's configuration, managing changes to those characteristics, and recording and reporting the process or realization of those changes to verify that specified requirements have been met. The purpose of SHAPE management is to increase productivity and safety during project development, to produce good quality software, and facilitate maintenance. Let's take a closer look at the features of software configuration management. First, configuration management gives you visibility into the evolving state of your software product, so that you can maintain the most stable version of your software at any given time. It also lets you know who made changes, what was changed, when it was changed, and why it was changed, so you can prevent uncontrolled changes with proper change management. Finally, with proper controls in place, projects can be managed in an organized and efficient manner, and by ensuring visibility and traceability, you can increase the productivity and quality of your software. This is the system configuration of the source control service. The prerequisite of the source control service is as follows. As with pipelines, there are a total of 3 infrastructures used by Container Platform Source Control. You need to install the key clock server, the database MariaDB, and the repository server Harbor beforehand. And all of these infrastructures must be installed when you deploy the Container Platform portal. Once you've set up the infrastructure for your portal, it's time to download the source control deployment file and place it in the corresponding path. This step must be done on the Kubernetes master node. First, create a path to download the deployment file inside your workspace folder. Create and enter the container-platform folder. Download the deployment file to that folder and verify the file path. Once the download is complete, unzip the deployment file. The deployment files directory is composed with the files as shown in the textbook. The scripts folder contains variables and script file related to the container platform, source control deployment. Images folder contains source control image files. The charts folder contains Helm chart files for source control. The values org folder contains the Helm chart values YARM file of source control. Next is the procedure for defining source control variables. Before you deploy the container platform source control service, you need to define the variable values. To do this, you need to set the variables by checking the information required for the deployment. Proceed to the following path. Workspace Container Platform CP Source Control Deployment Script. Then edit CP Source Control vars shell file. After entering the path to edit the shell file, enter the Kubernetes master node IP, host cluster as type, and provider type as shown in the textbook. For the provider type, enter standalone, which means a standalone deployment, since our textbook is based on a standalone deployment. The default deployment method for key clock is HTTP. If you want to set up HTTPS with an authentication certificate here, you need to modify the content below in the Container Platform Source Control Variables file. Open the CP Source Control vars shell file through VI Editor and modify it. Change the key clock URL value from HTTP to HTTPS. If you're using nip.io as your domain, change it to the following. The steps to run the Container Platform Source Control Deployment script and verify whether the related resources are deployed successfully. First, run the script to deploy the source control. Once the deployment is complete, verify that the pipeline-related resources are deployed successfully. Use the kubectl getAll command to check the normal deployment of each resource. For pods, it may take a few seconds to bind to a node, create a container, and transition to a running state. The screen shown on the textbook is an example screen of resource lookup screen. If you want to delete a deployed container platform source control resource in the future, execute the command below to delete it. First, view the deployed resources, and then proceed to delete the resources. After entering the uninstall command, enter Y to confirm the deletion. You can see the resource being deleted as shown at the bottom of the textbook. Part 2. Source Control Installation Demonstration. Let's look at the installation process we've been through so far as a video. Part 3. Source Control Service Access. Part 3 shows the process on accessing the source control you built. The container platform pipeline can be accessed with the address in the textbook. The master node IP value in the curly braces is the Kubernetes master node public IP value. The source control account, like the portal, has an admin account and a user account, and I'll explain how to log into each. First, how to log into the administrator account. You can check the initial information of the administrator account through the commands in the textbook. After checking the information, you can log in by entering your ID and password on the initial screen. Next is instruction on how to log in with a user account. For a user account, you'll need to sign up first. Access to key clock through the URI in the textbook. Next, go to the admin page called Administration Console and log in with the administrator account that we looked at before. Click Users from the menu on the left. Then proceed to User Adding menu by clicking the Add User button. Input user information. The username. Turn the email verified switch to on, then click Save. Proceed to the Credentials tab, then set the password by inputting password and password confirmation compartment. At this point, turn the temporary switch into off if the password is not a temporary password. Now access to the source control URI, then log in with the registered user account. Part 4. Source Control Service Utilization. In this part, we'll learn on how to utilize the source control services deployed on container platform. The container platform source control service has 3 menus, as shown in the table in the textbook: My Page, User Management, and Repository. In My Page, you can view and manage the information of the current user who is using container platform source control. The User Management menu allows you to view and manage the information of users who use container platform source control. The Repository menu allows you to manage repository registration, list and detailed lookup, delete, file, commit, and participant permissions. For more detailed utilization guide of source control, check the GitHub guide shown in the textbook. This concludes the lecture for Day 3. In Day 4, we will build the container platform environment and practice deploying MSA application. Good job, everyone.